Greetings and salutations. This is Passionate Bliss, and I just wanted to check in with you. Tonight's episode looks like it was a filler episode. Not much was going on. Wasn't enough of Anaya and Carl for me, but the only thing I did notice about them in this episode is Anaya's bedtime behavior is very different. She is awake and facing Carl every night when he comes to bed. She stays up late and kisses and smooches with him in the nighttime, which she did not do to KC, which proves my original statement when she first said that KC was freaked out, and I said she's probably in the bed pretending to be asleep so that she does not have to deal with trying to keep KC's hands off of her all night. And so I feel like that's true because her behavior with Carl, once again, is very different. They didn't give us much screen time for Carl and Anaya, so I can't gush over them anymore. The only thing that I noticed of that's worth mentioning is the lot of screen time that they gave the couples tonight. Typically, when it's this late in the game, because I am a years-long fan of the show, they start to give more screen time to the couples who are getting ready to leave. The people who got the most screen time last night was Zack and Kata, TT and KC, as well as Mackenzie and Dylan. So I'm just going to speculate which one I think is going home next. I feel like it's going to be, I can tell you why. They also gave a lot of screen time to Zack and Kata, but I can tell you why I don't think it's going to be Zack and Kata. You guys were really relishing it, and I see y'all telling me they got 30 minutes and it's time to get ready to go and get off of our screen and all of that. I don't think they're giving you Zack and Kata. They know that y'all don't like Zack, but they love Zack. They brought back Charlie 3 times. Now they brought back his brother. I don't think they're going to give y'all Zack. I don't like Zack either. He's one of the big villains of the season, but I don't think he was the worst villain. He's not worse than KC. He's not worse than Sincere. Sincere is the biggest villain. I don't think they're going to give you him because, number one, they love him and they've been trying to shove that dead couple at us all season and giving them the best promo all season. I don't think they're going to let y'all send home Zack. And if you look at the rankings on the app, which is what I base a lot of my opinions on, Kata is the second highest ranked girl behind Trinity. Zack is only three. Zack is the third up from the bottom. Below him are KC and Sincere. They're not going to give you the second highest ranked girl, and his ranking is only dragging her down 3 from the bottom. So I don't believe that they're going to give you Zack and Kata. I believe that they have, put them in the bottom 4 so that y'all can have your red meat, so that y'all can drag him, so that y'all can see his feelings get hurt, so that y'all can let him know that y'all don't like him. And so I believe that that's all you're going to get. I don't think they're going to give you Zack and Kata. I really don't. And the rankings don't indicate that that's what most of the public really wants. I do realize that some people are voting who don't do the rankings in the app and things like that to participate, but I don't think it's enough to give you Zack and Kata because Zack himself is third up from the bottom. He's not the lowest hanging fruit, and Kata is second from the top. I don't think you're going to get them. Okay. The next couple that they gave a lot of time to is TT and KC. KC is second from the bottom. TT is second from the bottom. Kata's ranking is higher than KC and TT's combined. I don't think they're giving you Zack and Kata once again. The lowest ranked male is Sincere, but he's not that much further lower than KC. And Melanie, she's the 4th ranked girl from the top. It's Trinity, Kata, Anaya, and then Melanie. So it's very possible that they may get rid of Melanie and Sincere, but I know that Melanie is being boosted because they're the toxic couple. They have Huda's toxic fan base from last season, so that fan base comes through heavy in the end. So Melanie may or may not make it, but again, Melanie she's in the middle, so she could be dragged down by Sincere, but it didn't happen this time. So I feel like Huda's fan base is going to come through for Melanie again because those are the toxic people who like the toxic vote. Um, the bottom two are Mackenzie. Mackenzie's the lowest ranked girl, and the guy that she's with, he's right above Zack. So he's kind of halfway in the middle where um, Melanie is on her side over there. So he's not the most hated, but he's not a favorite. But y'all been trying to get rid of Kenzie hard since like almost the first or second episode. Y'all been trying to get rid of Kenzie. Now I believe that they are willing to serve up Kenzie because we cannot forget that a lot of the MAGA youth are the ones who are the toxic voters, and the MAGA youth, they are not forgiving Kenzie for cuckolding that Caucasian male for a biracial black buck. They are not forgiving Kenzie, so the Caucasian vote hates Kenzie too. And the rest of us were already hating Kenzie before she did Caleb dirty. So I have a high probability that it could be Mackenzie and Dylan. And plus, they haven't done anything to try to redeem their couple. Melanie and Sincere had a sweet doc scene where he promised to make her his wife and let her have all the 10 babies. She's halfway back in. I thought she was going to dump him after the show at first, and I think her response to all of that, he said, was thank you. So I don't really know what she's thinking. I think it depends a lot on how her family acts when she gets out, whether she actually dumps him after the show or not. But she's trying to just rehab her image enough with him to stay on to the final, and he's doing it. So they tried to redeem their couple and give us some romance. Mackenzie and Dylan did not. They continued to fight, which is stupid. You only got a week left. Dylan should have let all this go, but I feel like Dylan knows that he's going to lose with Kenzie, so he's trying to get in his screen time, and he's trying to, show his chops and be seen, and come off looking good and make his image look good at the expense of hers. I would like to see Kenzie get to the family night if they're going to have one this year. I would like to see Kenzie's family get on there and pretend like they're proud of her for making a fool of that white man on TV and thotting it around and busting a split every scene. I would like to see her family claim her on family night. So I actually would like to see her stay for that reason alone. And I don't mind if Kenzie goes to the final as long as KC and TT don't go. KC and TT, they were trying to rehab their image as well and look good as they can with their, fifth grade reading comprehension conversations that they have. They, clearly are fond of one another, but they're not really that interesting because it sounds like two 12-year-olds are having a conversation every time they talk. And they're not interesting when you hear them talk. And they can take this show on the road. I'm not really entertained by them. And he's back to giving these little baby bird kisses that he used to give Anaya as well. I don't see them lasting on the outside because Casey has already proven that he's ego-driven and that he's driven by his sex drive. So once he get out of this villa, his DMs are going to be chock full of women who are willing to stroke his ego and his dick. So I don't see Casey laughing. He's in Fresno. She's in Inglewood. That's distance to travel. I don't know how much distance, but it don't matter for a man if you got girls locally in town that are willing to do whatever he wants. I don't see them lasting outside the villa for very long, but I do expect them, to, after they've done a little rehab on themselves and their relationship and all that, I expect to see them back in after the villa. Love Island still has use for them, and I think that's why they were pushing Anaya to accept Casey's apology and reconcile. A clue for me why I feel like they forced that apology and that reconciliation, because they still have future plans to try to make money off of KC and TT possibly, the way they did Taylor and Clark on After the Villa. Because when she went to go find the sunglasses, she goes up to KC and says, "You owe me." What does KC owe her? How does KC owe her at all? And why would she feel entitled to go up to KC and say, "You owe me"? I feel like that apology from KC was written by production, and she was to sit there and smile and look nice and say, "I forgive you," so that KC could rehab his image enough that he could come back and be used in future episodes. And probably once TT and KC breaks up, he might even come back on Love Island Games again. So I think that, KC's entertaining to watch, and, he's good looking to look at. they might have use for KC in the future, long term. You know, Johnny was their favorite villain. They brought Johnny back as often as they could. And so Johnny's old now, so it's time for a new, younger villain. Um, but yeah, I've always felt that that whole apology scene was forced. And then she has to say, "Oh, Casey deserves love." I think that an eye was made to say all of that because I think it's still fuck Casey, and it's still I don't want to associate around you because you know humiliated me on national TV and then laughed at me while I was crying on the floor. So, and I feel the same. It's fuck KC, and KC needs to go home. So I feel like they're gonna give up KC, or they're gonna give up Mackenzie and her couple. Um, I don't feel like it's gonna be Melanie. I don't feel like it's gonna be Zack and Kata. So, um, let me know what you think, because there really wasn't much else about this episode. It really wasn't even necessary. Uh, they don't have that much time left to be wasting episodes. So let me know what you think. Y'all have sweet dreams. Wake to find them real. Subscribe, hype the video, like the video, all that stuff.